guys, it's Chelsea, your Sunday nerd, and this week we're talking about fan fiction, which is very exciting for me because I read tons of it. So we have a couple questions we're gonna Bryson asked us to answer about fan fiction, so I'm just gonna go through those because otherwise I'll talk forever and ever and ever. So, what fan fiction do you read? What fandoms? Everything. Basically anything I like, I've read a fan fiction about. Um, let's see. Glee, obviously, I've been reading tons of Glee now. Probably at the current moment in time, I'm reading more Glee fan fiction than anything. Criminal Minds is another one. Criminal Minds is actually a show I got into because I read a fan fiction, which is interesting, but I love that show. I have every season on DVD, but yeah. But I just thought that's an interesting story. What else? Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've been reading lately again. I used to read it, now I'm reading it more again because of Korra. Um, I read tons. Harry Potter, Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. I haven't done that in forever though. Just basically anything I've ever expressed a minute interest in. House. I've read a lot of House fan fiction. But yeah, basically anything I've expressed a minute amount of interest in, I've read a fan fiction about it. Why you read it? I think it's a really enjoyable way to sort of expound upon something that you love. If you're watching a show or reading a book or something, and it ends, or you're limited to what you see on TV for that hour. Reading fan fiction is a way to sort of open up that world more to you through writing more or reading what other people have read, and I think that's really cool. And I've always enjoyed it. You can sort of develop your own sort of world for for characters that you love. Um, your favorite slash least favorite type. Okay. Favorite type. It's kind of funny because my favorite types are kind of like really opposite of each other. I really like comedy, and I really like angst. Like those are my two favorites, and those are like the complete opposites. It is harder for me to find good comedy fan fictions because I don't know. I think comedy might be a little bit harder to write because comedic timing is like something that's really hard to do, but not. I don't want to, put it on this pedestal, but comedy is kind of hard to write, and I know this because I do write a good bit of comedy. Um, it's difficult to, picture a joke in your head and get it to work on a script because I write a lot of skits and things that you're used to for church and stuff, and getting a joke in your head to work out in a written form is kind of hard. But I've read a couple of really good ones. There's one in particular, Pirates of the Caribbean fan fiction that was hilarious that I think of often. I don't remember the name of it at all because it was years and years and years ago that I read it. Um, my least favorite type. I hate like Mary Sue fan fictions where people put in like this little perfect character that does everything right and has no flaws and blah 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 blah. I hate those. So those are awful. I also hate like where it's from supposed to be like yours perspective, like it's like you open the door and see Darren Criss there and you swoon heavily because he's so pretty. Like I hate those stories. I don't like it's just weird and I don't like that kind of thing. Um and then of course all the like really like weird stories that are like involve animals and things that you should not be doing with animals and other such things as that. Favorite story. There's too many to name. Oh my god, there's so many good stories. I'll try and name one for each fandom, but I'm not gonna remember the names. Glee. There's like 10 favorites for Glee. I won't name 10 though. Where There's Smoke comes to mind immediately right now because I think I reread that recently. It's a really good one. It's a really good AU fic. Sam just recommended one in her last video that I read, and I really, really, really loved it. It was called Syrup and Honey. The Muse I really liked. That's a Glee one. Another one. Oh, but there's one I'm leaving out. Things I Cannot Change. I really like that one. because being a Christian and someone who supports gay rights, I felt like that was like an amazing and like really amazing thing. I was really appreciative to Beautiful with Yuri for writing that because it was just so good. There's an Avatar fan fiction. I can't think of the name. It has brother in it. I'll try and find it and put a link down in the description. Where it's about Hakoda, who's Katara and Sokka's father, who finds Zuko on a Fire Nation ship when he's 10, and they like rescue him because he's got the burn and a couple other injuries. And then they like adopt him and raise him as their own, and then they go through like the plot line of the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's just interesting to see how things changed and what's different because of this, major sort of plot change that they made. And yeah, it's really good. I really, really like it. I'm not done with it yet, but it's probably my favorite Avatar fanfiction that I've read. Um, and then others, oh my god, I just can't even think right now. Your favorite author? Beautiful with Yuri, the only one that comes to mind right now because I'm awful and I don't really. A lot of times I'm not really paying attention to authors' names because I just browse and I click on stories and I read them and I review sometimes. Sometimes I don't think the story needs a review. If it's bad, I won't review it. um, yeah, yeah, a lot. I really need to start paying attention to authors more because there's probably are stories I've read from the same authors. A lot of times, if I read a story that I like, I will like if I'm on fanfiction, I'll click the author's name and see what else they've written, and maybe that's how I discover authors. But then I like forget their name because I'm like awful with names. I don't remember them at all. But Beautiful Yotsuhuri is one I remember. Another one, I can't. It's been a while since I've read her stuff because she stopped updating. Her name's, I think the name on fanfiction is Elijah's Cup, and she does crossover. She writes a really good crossover series with Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter. I really, really like that series. It's like amazing. I love it. That might be the name of the series, Elijah's Cup. So maybe if you look Elijah's Cup, you'll find the author's name, but I can't remember her name. A current story reading, like I just said, the one with Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they find Zuko and he raised this water tribe. That one's really, really good, and like I said, I'll try and find the link. I'll try. Whether, oh, do you write fan fiction? I have, a little bit. Not a lot. The first fan fiction I really ever wrote was a fan fiction called Lord of the Citrus. It's a parody of Lord of the Rings, and I think it's pretty funny. I wrote it when I was in like high school, like a freshman in high school, so that was like 8 years ago. Yeah, Sam calls herself the mother of fan fiction. I'm probably like the grandmother of fan fiction just because I've been reading it since I was in like 8th grade. Probably more like 7th grade. I've been reading it since I was in like 7th grade, so that's 10 years of fan fiction. I should have a celebration. But yeah, so that's the first story I really ever wrote was Lord of the Citrus, and I gave up on it like on chapter like 5 or 6 or something. I wrote it in a notebook and I kept losing the notebook, and then I just didn't want to rewrite chapters. Is what happened to that story. But if you want to read it, what I have of it, I might re-pick it up someday, but not today. I'll put a link for that down in the description. And another story I wrote more recently. It's called Little Lion Man, and I wrote that based off of one of Sam's past Tumblr names, which is I thought it was super cute, and I wanted to write something to go with it. So I wrote this little like drabbly short thing. It's all fluff. It's only like it may be like 5 paragraphs. It's super short and it's just cute. And it's about Kurt when he was a little kid with his mom. And I think it's cute. If you feel a little sad, you read it. It might cheer you up. But yeah, it's just a cute little drabbly thing. I'll put a link in it. Josh talked about it the other day. But yeah, that's another one I wrote. I've written more that's never ever seen the light of fan fiction or any type of publishing site at all. Because I get nervous about writing fan fiction because I get nervous when I'm writing as other characters because I feel like I'm like I don't know if I could do the character justice. Like I do come up with ideas for fan fiction all the time, but I never really see anything through to fruition because I'm always doubtful of my ability to write as a character that's not my own. So that's probably my view. I might be writing another one while I'm on vacation because I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of internet connection. So maybe in my downtime, and when I come back, there'll be something to be posted. Um, how you heard about it? I'm gonna do this with slash the last question, which is the first fan fiction you ever read. Okay, so essentially, when I was like 12 years old, there was a show on the ABC Family. It might have been Fox Family at the time. I'm not sure, but it was called Beyblade. It's an anime show on ABC Family that I like loved, and me and my friend like we loved that show. Um, I burped. But we used to watch it and talk about it and all that kind of stuff. It was like probably like the first fandom I was in, and she was like online searching for something or something like that, and she found this fan fiction about Blade, and she found it on like Quizzilla or like a quiz site or something. It wasn't even like fan fiction that she found it on, but she found it on that site, and she was talking to me, and she goes, people write stories about Beyblade online. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, and we were on the phone, and so she started reading me this Beyblade fanfiction that was a comedy about like them going on blind dates with people, and it was like a game show or something. And this is the first fanfiction I guess I ever read, or it was read to me because she read it to me over the phone. But I have fond memories of it because it was back in the days of AIM, and so she kept getting messages, and her like AIM message sound was a cow mooing. So like she would be reading it to me and goes, "Your date will be moo," that kind of stuff. It was just really, it's a funny experience to think about in my mind. Um, but yeah, that's the first fan fiction I read, and that's how I heard about fan fiction. And then just from there, I searched stuff and eventually found fanfiction.net and read like everything on the site. Um, but yeah, definitely I'm a big fan fiction person. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed my video. Tune in tomorrow to see Sam's video and my theme for the week. It's my choice, and it's gonna be epic, I think. Well, more like we're talking about something very epic. So, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next Sunday. Love you, lovely. Mwah.